I'm Lex.
And I'm Tay.
And this is our take on college. All right, everybody, welcome back. Today is Monday, October 30th, and this episode is going to be released on Halloween. Taylor and I have mentioned this episode quite a couple of different times on the podcast, and we are so excited for IU urban legends and spooky stories today, also known as local haunts via the IDS website. So just a preface so that legality things are out of the way. We are in no way talking crap about the university, putting rumors out there. These are stories that have been out in the public for quite some time and have been reported on by IU affiliated organizations, including the Indiana Daily Student, which is the newspaper here, run through the school and also used throughout Bloomington. So I just wanted to get that out of the way just to start off this episode. And we are extremely excited for this episode today. And with that, go and check out the IDS website because their graphics are scarier than all get out, but super cool and fun and different. So yeah, we're just going to kind of kick off with talking about our weekend really quick and recap, and then we're going to get into these stories today for a fun, spooky little episode that'll be short and sweet, and then we'll see you guys in the next one later this week. But my weekend was super fun. I went home and saw my family. I saw my old bosses, some really exciting stuff. I am going to be back at my old job for Thanksgiving break as well as over the holidays coming up later this year. I've missed them very much, and they're so supportive of the podcast. So I was really excited to see one of the co-founders and just chat with her for a little bit. So excited to be back. And then Saturday came back, hung out with Taylor, went out to a frat party as Blair and Serena from Gossip Girl, and had a lot of fun. And we just hung out and spent some time together. And then Sunday, I just spent the day getting stuff done. Had some really cool stuff with chapter and slating. And talking about elections that are coming up with my sorority, specifically within the next couple of weeks, because it is that season right now in Greek life. So yeah, that was kind of my weekend. Tay, what's been going on with you?
Yeah, I mean, not much. Friday night, me and Sarah just hung out. We watched Halloween movies, scary movies, and made those cookies that you take the chocolate chip cookie dough and then you smash the pumpkin sugar cookie dough on top of it. So we made those. Saturday, hung out with you, of course. And then Sunday, went out to dinner with a couple of my other friends and then Sarah. So it was pretty cool, pretty fun.
Sounds like we both had some really good and safe Halloween weekends. That being college is just something that safety is always super important, especially during big holidays. And, Halloween is taken pretty seriously, I guess, as far as partying goes in college. So it was just really good and fun to get to be able to go out and have fun in a very safe way. So with that, first, I would like to preface, I don't know when we were going to say this, but Taylor is wearing merch from our favorite podcast. I'm going to pan to her really quick. If you guys can see it, it says Keep It Weird. We've shouted out Morbid probably a handful of times. But we are avid Morbid listeners. We love Elena and Ash. I am absolutely obsessed with them. Taylor and I both had the Wandery Plus access thing for early access or whatever for a while, and we both I don't have it anymore, and I'm pretty sure Taylor doesn't either, but I would binge the episodes, and then it was I binged the 3 that were upcoming, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I need more. Why aren't the episodes out yet? I need more. And those ones hadn't even been released yet, so just love them. So she wanted to be kind of fun and spooky, and I love it. So I'm just wearing all black, so nothing crazy, just all black for today's episode. But we're gonna get into local haunts, some Halloween spooky Bloomington tales. So I'm going to start off and give just a little bit of background to these stories that were reported by IDS. And there's one that we hadn't put in on the doc that I think is still really interesting to put in. It's not like a lot, but these are just very small stories. But yeah, this is from the IDS website. In order to get into spooky season, here are a few urban legends told amongst the IU students and their community. The stories range from the early 1800s to the late 1900s and were collected from old reports in the IU archives and the Folklore and Ethnomusicology Student Association. So these stories are, in fact, in IU archives. So that makes it a whole nother thing. And again, was from the Folklore and Ethnomusicology Student Association. So the first story that we are going to be talking about is the Hatchet Brothers of Martinsville. And I thought this one was interesting because, it's not really, I guess, like Bloomington. It's like Martinsville, and that's kind of like why we weren't talking about it much. But I think this one's just a small little interesting thing, is the Hatchet Brothers of Martinsville. People who choose to live and visit Bradford Woods or pursue the nearby streets of Martinsville, Indiana, are warned to be conscious at nighttime. I can't speak today. There have been various reports of missing people and animals with severed heads found in the late 20th century. The suspects of these crimes are said to be the Hatchet Brothers, and they wander the area holding a hatchet, hiding amongst the trees, looking for their next victim. So there's not a lot to report on that, because I even tried to do some research over on the internet and stuff. But yeah, it's just really interesting to know that there, are some guys roaming around in the woods trying to chase you down with a hatchet. So, that one's kind of the first one. Just an interesting, and the graphic on here is scary as hell. But be careful when roaming Bradford Woods or the nearby streets of Martinsville. Tay is going to talk about the next one.
So the next one pertains to a dorm on campus, which that's, terrifying because people currently still live here. So if you live in Briscoe, let us know if you've experienced this. But so one night in the 1970s, the students of Briscoe Hall studied intensely and partied shamelessly. One group decided to go elevator surfing. Fueled by adrenaline, they would gather in front of the elevator, pry the door open, and hop into the moving elevator below. Unfortunately, this daring adventure was not without its risks. A member of the group suffered a tragic death after falling into the elevator shaft. His ghost continues to haunt Briscoe, accompanying those who take the elevator. The elevator will also open and travel to floors without command.
That is terrifying. We've never been in Briscoe, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned before on the podcast, my dad was a student here and that was his dorm. So we will have to ask him about his experience with that, because he was going to college in the 80s. So it would have only been less than a decade after that happened. So I got to know what the story is on that. So we will report further on that in this week's later episode coming on Thursday. But that one really got me good. I think that one's really interesting. This next one is kind of, I don't know, it's different and odd, to say the least. I don't know if it's really scary. It's just an interesting tale. It's called The Missing Bones. In the early years of IU's history, trains transporting cargo across the country would stop in Bloomington for exchanges. One special specimen among the imported goods was a baby elephant destined for the circus. Dumbo, anybody? During its transfer between train cars, the elephant severely injured its leg. For its caretakers, the only viable option for treatment was euthanization. That's really sad. The elephant's bones were donated to the university, but have since gone missing. Legend has it the elephant's bones are hidden on campus, waiting to be recovered. Okay, so scavenger hunt, anybody? I don't know, but I kind of want to go look, and Scooby and the gang, let's get it together. I want to go find those bad boys. These, again, are just like interesting because, you know, the one thing that I feel like we talk about on campus as far as like superstition or like legends goes is the fish in Showalter Fountain, and how like we're missing one, and if you look at the fountain, it's like in proportionate because there's a fish and it's missing. Like there's a open space where a fish should be, and it's like gone missing, and no one has ever like found it because I think we'd like won a football game or something, and then they came and like pulled it out of the fountain as like a celebratory thing or whatever, like storming campus. I can't remember what.
It was basketball. It was one of the. It was basketball. It was one of the times when they won a banner. So yeah, one went.
Good thing Taylor corrected me because I did not remember. But I just remember when we were visiting campus that, that was like something, and they've never like found it. But I've never heard of these before, and I honestly want to kind of go and like visit the archives and like find out more about this. But this next one that Taylor is about to read, oh my goodness, this story, I've heard this one though. I should preface, being in Greek life, you hear a lot of different things, but someone has brought this story up before, and it is very interesting. So I'm gonna let Tay go ahead and give us the next one.
Okay, so the next one we have is room 104. So in the former Kappa Delta Rho fraternity house located at 1503 East 3rd Street, the house manager invited his girlfriend over for a break during finals. He was called away to attend to responsibilities, leaving her alone in room 104. She became tired and drifted to sleep. Suddenly, tree limbs began to creep over her from under the bed. She looked up to see her boyfriend with his skin hanging from his body and an axe swinging towards her. His roommates, after hearing her screaming, entered the room to see her terrified but alive, sitting on the bed with a previously missing pickaxe in the corner of the room that was not previously there.
That one always gets me because it's like that was a fraternity here on campus. That's a real place. Like, dog, what happened? And like, was he trying to kill her? Was it a ghost? Like, that's crazy. That one freaks me out, especially when we visit the frats on 3rd Street. I'm like, ooh, hell no. When we went Saturday, Taylor and I were there for an hour, and we're like, we're good. We're gonna head out. So I will never spend the night ever in a fraternity house. Even if my boyfriend had joined a fraternity, I would not have spent the night. And especially after hearing that story.
Yeah, I wonder what house that is now.
Okay, hold on.
That's very interesting, actually. Yeah, don't know if that's like a current house.
I'm gonna find it.
Watch it be the one we were at Saturday.
Oh my god, I think I might actually die. Okay, so actually, it is, as of right now, it says that it is located in the intersection of where South Swain Avenue and East 3rd Street meet, where so I'm assuming that it used to not have like that intersection of South Swain, and it says that it is in front of where Restaurant Ami is right now. That is apparently there is no longer a building technically.
Yeah.
Because Ami's like address is not that. It's 1500. Mm-hmm. There's no building there anymore. So it was bulldozed, but who knows? The property could still be haunted. You know, their basement, I love Ami, but their basement, you know, give me creepy vibes, bro. Like, I don't know. There's some, you know, interesting phantoms hanging around in that area. But anywho, I've got the next one. So the next one we're going to be talking about is called The Arm. ominous. It sounds like, you know, that story that kids used to tell all the time about the two lovers like going to like Lover's Lane and like the hook that was like left on the door. Like that's the title without reading this is just giving that vibe right now. Okay, so the arm. Owen Hall, the oldest building on campus, housed cadavers on the 3rd floor in its early years. By the way, guys, before we get any further, when I was a pre-nursing student, saw a cadaver. So I was in anatomy both semesters because first semester I got sick and had to withdraw, and then second semester I obviously got sick. I was sick the whole year, but anyways, not the point. During anatomy and lab and stuff, we would be doing things with cadavers. And obviously, to respect privacy, we're not going to talk about like who they were or anything like that because I do know their names. But we had a male and a female, and these, I mean, were pretty decomposed cadavers. Like they had been using them for quite some time. Like these people had probably passed away like a couple of years ago. And we were using them obviously for understanding like the different like zones of like muscle. Like we weren't really using them for bones. It was more muscle structure to like see it on an actual human being in the flesh. No pun intended, seriously. I swear it wasn't, it just came out wrong anyways. But yeah, like it's like kind of an ominous thing. Like I know that those people weren't bad or anything like that, but it's just like seeing that is like, I mean, it's not for the faint of heart or someone with a weak stomach. Let me just say that. But anyways, Owen Hall is the oldest building on campus, and it used to house cadavers on the 3rd floor in its early years. A dumbwaiter, or a small transport container, was used to transport the bodies from the 1st to 3rd floors, but limbs were often severed after getting caught in the machinery. Sidney Siegel, organizer of the FESA Ghost Walk, said. I'll have to look up what that is. I don't know what that is. One night, a few boys decided to steal an arm from the basement and hang it from the ceiling light in the dorm of one of their female friends while she was away. They waited for her arrival under her window outside. Oh my God. Hours passed and they never heard her scream or saw the light turn on. Worried, they went back into her room only to find her rocking back and forth in the corner, silently eating the arm. Oh! That is horrifying. Dude, Owen Hall is scary, bro. I've walked past that place, and now I know why. Oh my God. There's no way. That's okay. We have got to do like further like invest, and that's the thing, guys. I don't think you understand. Like we are bringing you the stories as reported by IDS because they have access to the IU archive. Taylor and I are going to be doing some goddamn sleuthing because I need to know what in the heck was going on. That's crazy. I got a pit in my stomach, y'all. That is bad. That is foul.
Like I don't even know what to say. Like what possesses you to do that? Obviously something was going on. She's possessed by something or she was on something, but that is wild. I mean, the next one we got isn't going to follow that one up very well, but I mean, you know, it's still a story. Yeah, if you don't learn anything from this, learn that avoid 3rd Street because this one is also about 3rd Street. So this one's called The Woman in Black, and it says in 1911, there were several reports of an unknown veiled woman dressed in black. She was seen most often walking along 3rd Street. Some claim to have seen her walking with a cane or an umbrella. She's always kept her face covered and often hid behind nearby trees when other pedestrians looked over. For a second look, witnesses reported she would disappear completely. There are suspicions that the woman in black may have been a burglar attempting to steal from nearby Greek houses.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, guys, I guess I'm the woman in black because I didn't plan this out very well. I literally am in black almost head to toe. The only thing that is not is my tennis shoes and my socks. So this is just, that's crazy. Like, oh, that's spooky. I'm gonna be like, if I see a woman in black at night, because I drive, let me preface, to get to my boyfriend's apartment, which I spend majority of my nights at, to get there, I have to drive past 3rd Street unless I want to go a really long way around. And I'm a frugal college student. Girls got to be saving gas. So if there is ever a night where I am driving on 3rd Street and I see a woman in black, y'all, I'm calling Taylor. I would be like, girl, I found her. But anyways, I did just find a couple more that I'm going to read off because they're really short. But these were also reported by News at IU on their website. So it says, Indiana University has no shortage of such legends on the Bloomington campus. One is that 2 female students who stayed in McNutt Quad, by the way, that was our dorm. So, yeah, I saw that. I was like, I have to read a couple of these stories. So anyways, one story, and we don't have titles for these. One story is that 2 female students who stayed in McNutt Quad during a Christmas break years ago heard reports on the radio about a hatchet man on campus. By the way, Taylor and I used to listen to the police scanner all the time, so this is not making me feel good about myself. One student left to go get some food. The other later heard sounds of dragging, thumping, and scratching, but thought it was a practical joke. In the morning, she awoke to find the police outside her room and her roommate, essentially, or the other student, dead outside of the room, her fingers worn to nubs, and the hatchet man was never caught. Guys, I hated our dorm, and that is not making me feel any better about this situation whatsoever. So that's horrifying. Another story is about a ghost of a young woman wearing a yellow dress who haunts Reed Hall. Legend has it that her boyfriend stabbed her to death in a fit of rage after a party, and he left her in a tunnel that runs underneath the Wright and Reed quads. There are a lot of superstitions about tunnels that run under places in Indiana, and specifically Indiana University. There are a lot of theories that a lot of buildings on this campus, whether they are housing or they are campus-related academic/housing buildings that have campus affiliation through IU specifically, not quote-unquote Greek housing, have tunnels running under them. I do not like that one bit. Anywho, there's another legend dating to 1911 on an account in the Indiana Daily Student that tells of a veiled woman dressed in black. So we've already talked about that. And apparently, I don't even know if Taylor just said this, but it sounds as if a student tried to take their matters into their own hands and tried to shoot her with a revolver. So that's like a continuation onto the story. I don't even think that's the original sighting. But it says, for those looking to set a spooky mood for Halloween, the Indiana University Archives recently digitized a selection of stories about these campus legends, and they have been collected by students and faculty in the College of Arts and Sciences Department of Folklore and Ethnomusicology over the years and shared during Ghost Walks. So Ghost Walks, I guess, is a thing that goes on here at campus, but we can contact IU Archives for assistance. But yeah, that is kind of it. Those are the stories that we have for you guys. I know that there's not much to go off of, but to be honest, a lot of this stuff is hidden within the IU archives. I mean, Taylor and I weren't able to get access to those before these stories, so we are literally only going off of what has been provided by the Indiana Student Daily and the Indiana University News website via the media school. So anyways, that has been our spooktacular Halloween episodes. I hope you guys can sleep at night because now I am rethinking a lot of things that happened our freshman year in that dorm. So, we love you guys very much. Stay safe. Halloween is tomorrow. This episode is coming out on Halloween. We love you all very, very, very much. And again, our comments are always open on YouTube. Our polls are always, and questions and Q&As are always open on Spotify. Our DM on lexante.pod is always open, as well as our personal DMs. Please reach out if you ever need anything. Stay safe. Have fun. Keep it spooky. We love you all very much. I'm Lex.
And I'm Tay.
And this has been our take on college.